That's what I'm talking about. This is like a hotel rock. You better be doing good. Alright, so the name of my book is Renpet. This is the book right here. This is a sci-fi novel, and it's dealing with what happened after 2012. Now, I know you've heard a lot about what is going to happen about 2012, after 2012. But this book here will tell you what actually is going to happen after 2012. And basically what happens is the vibration of the planet skyrockets. In that, every person on the planet has an increased amount of pigmentation. So that means your average Japanese person is looking dark like coal. Scandinavian person looking like someone from Zimbabwe. And the reason being is because nature chose this change. And it needed to prepare the inhabitants on Earth for this change. Let me tell you a little bit about myself before I continue about the book. I am a body worker. I do shiatsu. I don't know if any of you know what shiatsu is, but you probably heard of massage. So shiatsu is like massage, except it deals with the energy channels of the body, releasing the blockages of the body or increasing energy in the body. So in my experience of doing that and being the craziest sci-fi fan and anime fan, I mean 20 years, that's all I've been, watching anime. You guys, my girlfriend, I drive her crazy all night. Nothing translated, just, the subtitles, she can't even watch it. And all that creative energy propelled me to write this book. And I also had a dream that I was one of the characters in the book. So I woke up one morning and just started writing, and it took me a year to get it out, but Renpet. So what I would like to do is read a little bit from one of the chapters, if you don't mind.
We don't mind.
And bear with me. Shaquan lay stretched out on his bed, picking at the scar on his palm. Stop picking it. You're so disgusting, said Kanifa. He rolled over and grabbed his stereo remote. He selected his favorite hip-hop song and turned up the volume to the maximum. Wanting to escape and be alone for a while, he decided to drown out Kanifa's rambling by blasting his speakers. Nodding his head to the rhythm of the beat, the loud volume vibrated his internal organs as he felt a sense of calm. The sound vibrations danced in front of his eyes like streaks of light, expanding and contracting, blending into one another and cutting through each other. It's so beautiful, said Kanifa. You can see it too, responded Shaquan. Yes, we are one being, only separated by our own personalities. What you experience, I do too. Now hush. You weren't crying, right? He stopped picking at his hand and allowed himself to further let go. His mind commenced to replay all the previous events of the day. Michelle's betrayal, Kanifa losing her body and merging with him, and his slinging of Larry weighed heavy on his constitution. The music helped him clear his thoughts and focus his energy. He watched as the bass bounced off the walls like a rippling pond, and the percussions drip into the bass like raindrops. In the midst of his own personal light show, his shirt began to creep up his own body. His shirt began to creep up on his body on his own, exposing his chest as moist sensations pressed against his skin. Shaquan's lower back felt warm with a caressing touch, followed by more sensations to his chest. Kanifa, is that you? She answered seductively. How are you doing this? I really don't know. I just thought about being with you, and the next thing I knew, I was able to touch you. Well, keep going. Let's see what else comes up. Shaquan said mysteriously, putting an emphasis on the word come. She lifted his chest and fingered her way up and down his back. The feeling left a sensation of hot gel whenever she contacted him. He wanted to do the same to her. He focused on the times they had together and the way she looked to him. In his memories, he experienced how curvaceous her frame was and soft her skin felt. He extended his arms outward and brought them towards his body to hold her. She squeezed him hard when his touch petted her curves. The sweetness of her body excited Shaquan. He grabbed her backside and got lost in his plumpness. Gradually, he became aroused. She lay on top of him, and he could hear a faint heartbeat. She, in turn, felt his hardness press against her. Take off your pants, way ahead of you. He practically ripped off his jeans, leaving his socks on his feet like he always did when they got together. Same old Shaquan, naked to the socks when he's about to get some. Shut up, he said softly to her as he began to finger her gently. These parents have interesting ways of expressing unity of body and spirit. If he was not in a state of shock, the whole scene would have freaked him out. The fact of her getting wet to his finger should have bewildered him alone. It's Sci-Fi. I heard you. Tanika removed his hand from between her legs and held him. Little by little, she took him inside of her. She sat on top of him, gyrating her hips, pressing her hand to his chest. She let out a satisfying and somewhat painful moan, like it was her first time. In actuality, this was her first time in the form she was in. He looked up and saw something moving above him. It was Kanika. Her figure swayed back and forth to the motion of their intimacy. He didn't know her before the loss of his physical eyesight, so he had actually never seen how she physically looked. She looked the same to him as she did before, radiant. Her aura appeared to be green to him, which made her look more beautiful to his perception. Although she had a tendency to have relationships with individuals of the same gender, she preferred guys like Shaquan. Earlier on in her life, she was exposed to many experiences no child should be exposed to. Those events shaped her ideologies about relationships. From the day she met Shaquan, her feelings about relationships grew, stable and grounded. The intimate time she spent with Shaquan meant a lot to her. Seeing his physical expression in ecstasy brought forth a great deal of emotion, sending tingling sensations throughout her body. The unified motions of their bodies resulted in deep, long strokes into Kanika's womb. The wet grinding sound from the friction of the movement, along with the scent from their respective essences, further excited him. Shaquan started to shiver. Get off me, Kanika. I'm about to bust. His lips quivered, barely able to get the words from out his mouth. He tried to push her off, but she clung on. Why should I get off of you? She responded deviously. Kanika hugged him tight and grinded her hips into his pelvis with more vigor. Shaquan didn't fight it. All his muscles tensed as he pulled her close to him and released. He let out a howl, but he knew that his parents would hear him. Oh! I love you. She didn't realize that she actually said what had been on her mind for the longest. Of course you do. I've been making the owner. He didn't say what was really on his heart. She knew what he intended to say. They lay together intertwined, satiated by one another's proximity. I can't believe how that felt, commented Shaquan. Yes, and no messy cleanup afterwards. What you mean no messy cleanup? Shaquan paused. Where did it go? Only one place that it could. In me. What? I said in me. Is that possible? Seems so. Okay, I'm a little confused. Now you're confused? You're a funny dude. Anyway, don't give it a second thought. There was a small knock at his door. I made some salad and veggie burgers, Shaquan. Would you like to eat something? Asked his mother as she rapped at the door. No, I'm okay. Just need some time to myself. Okay, Dad and I are downstairs if you need it. He wanted to say he did need to talk to him, but he didn't know where to start. His parents were very stern, yet loving. They understood whatever he went through and supported him in his decisions. During his depression, they never let him give up on himself or treat him like a victim. They were very proud of their culture and believed that they were the caretakers of everything that was in their circumference. Regardless of these qualities, Shaquan still found it difficult to reveal to them that he could see. In addition to that, they did not know about his gang activities. Kanika lay on his chest, somewhat jealous that he had loving parents. She, on the other hand, lost her parents to the year and lived with a wild, irresponsible, and Saki-loving older sister. She rubbed the sides of his head and let out a sigh. Gradually, the soft touch of her hand dissipated. Even though their union invigorated Kanika, the energy it took to contact Shaquan left her drained. Kanika, what are you going to do now? Live. Live. That sounds perfect. Are you going to tell the parents about your gift and me? Yes. Eventually they will know all I've been hiding from them. You know, Shaquan's voice grew serious. It's becoming apparent to me that the year occurred to show us the infinite possibilities of life, continued Shaquan. I want to explore our situation. Tell me how it feels to be in the state you're in. It's the same like the state you're in, except I have more liberties. I see energy the same way you do. I don't know if it's because of my late to you. It does take a lot of concentration to be able to touch you, though. Let's start there. Your concentration affects your density. Interesting. Kanika abruptly interrupted. Shaquan, I could see why Michelle was so angry about her uncle. I just didn't know any better. I've been through so much in my life that I just wanted to have others feel my pain. I've been so wrong. Kanika, we are going to live. And in that, we can decide how we're going to live. They continued their talk, finding out about one another's abilities, looking to the future with a brighter outlook and confidence. So, that's the end of that chapter. Did anyone know what made that chapter special? Could you figure it out? Or should I just tell you? Okay. Kanika did not possess a physical body. Kanika merged with Shaquan. So she was able to project herself from him. The concept of the book is dealing with the male and female principles of how we deal with one another in relationships, energy-wise, and so forth. So even though it's entertainment, it's sci-fi and it's application. So if you want to ask questions about Renpet, I'm right there. Please support Sci-Fi. Support Sister Nicole there. She's come from a long way as well, very long way. In fact, she didn't mention it, but she came from a long way. So we're here to show you. She came from Mars, man. Your brother supported. We bring some prayer back up here. Okay, so we're here to support you, to share our work, so you can have a brighter vision about your life. Thank you. Oh.
How did the title come about?
Okay, the first title was Broken, because I said that everyone in the book had broken spirits. But then I was like, I don't want to take that route. I studied the Kemet principles, those are the Egyptian principles, and Renpet means year, or the sprouting, coming forth. So Renpet actually means the great year, or the time that we're supposedly approaching now. The great year, the great change. So, Renpet.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for DjaDja N Medjay. It's your Renpet. We're going to return on y'all when you listen to shit. And I was 54, I know it's 54, but I hear one, and that's what all of it. So we're going to go and check it out.